Hey, bio fans! Anya here from the Biography Wrap, and today, we are going to explore the life of Soleil Moon Frye through the movie Kid 90, directed by Soleil Moon Frye. So, grab your seats and do watch out for spoilers. The story begins with an interview with Soleil, where she talks about how fascinating it is to be able to look upon the memories of herself and of those around her from the time when she was just a teenager. It is all possible today because as a kid, Soleil has always been fascinated with cameras, which is why she carries a camera around with her all the time, documenting everything from videos to voicemails and diaries and almost the entirety of her teen years. But after shooting these memories, she locks them away and never looks back into them, as she has been afraid to face all the bad memories that will come along with the good ones. But now, she has decided to open Pandora's box and look for what lies in there for her. At the age of mere 7 years, Soleil was the lead star of a show called Punky Brewster, which brought her limelight that made her shine so bright at such a young age. She became the center of attraction everywhere she went and handled thousands of fan mails every day, which was a big deal even for a celebrity at that time. This, she feels, is the best stage of her life. Her friends used to keep her company for as long as she wanted, and she was loved everywhere. By the time she finished her show, Punky Brewster, she was the age of 14, but her body looked more mature than any girl of her age. Her boobs were more prominent, and thus people started seeing her as more of a woman than a young girl. Everywhere she went, people either remembered her for the cute little girl on the Punky Brewster show or commented on her boobs and ass. In her acting career, she used to get roles that focused on her body more than her character. She used to be cast for her big boobs, which frustrated her a lot. It was as if after living an awesome childhood, she was being forced into adulthood without even getting the chance to live the golden teen years. She had become a punchline for her friends' circle, and they used to call her Punky Brewster, which frustrated her even more. It disturbed her so much that she decided to get a boob reduction surgery, hoping that people would see her as who she was and not focus on her body after the surgery. She felt excited that she would have an identity of her own besides what people had conceived of her. But despite the surgery, people still didn't take her seriously. She began questioning herself and felt more lost than before because previously, she thought her big boobs were the reason that her personality and thoughts were not being taken seriously, but even now, when her boobs were more petite, the problem seemed to be persistent. After this, she began documenting everything either in videos with a camera or through voicemails, and if not, then she used to write in her diary about the incidents that happened throughout her day. She documented everyone she met, her friends, her family, everything she did, and every experience she and her friends had. The footage contains her life and many memorable moments of her friends' lives. Being in Hollywood, she was still famous for the roles she had played previously, and media and news channels approached her to become part of the campaigns that inspire youth to say no to drugs and alcohol, which she agreed to and became part of several campaigns. But on the other hand, she herself got indulged in partying and doing drugs of different kinds, getting stoned now and then, and she used to feel like she was really living her life. During this period, she had many crushes, but when she met Danny O'Connor through a common friend, she instantly felt a connection with him, and they became best friends. Her relationship with Danny evolved from friends to best friends, and then into something beautiful and romantic. Danny was part of a famous rock band, and when his album was released, he became a sensation. His album broke records, and he came into the limelight. But he also wanted Soleil to be a part of all this. He inspired her to film and document everything that's going around, as this is the thing that would give her true peace of mind. He saw the artist inside her and accepted her for who she really is, and this is what Soleil loved about him. But like every teenage romance, this also came to an end when Danny and Soleil mutually decided to drift apart for their own benefits. Jonathan, one of Soleil's very close friends, showed obvious signs of depression, and even confessed on camera that he was thinking about suicide, but she didn't take it seriously. She was unable to see what he was going through, and even did not recognize his call for help, and after a few days, Jonathan was found dead, having committed suicide in his room by hanging himself from the roof. It was almost as if a chain reaction had occurred, one after another. She received news of her friends committing suicide. It was a very dark time for her, and she does not wish to relive what she felt, the feeling of losing someone so important in her life forever, and not being able to do anything about it. As she continues to explore the story, she describes almost being raped by one of her boyfriends. While they were getting ready to have sex, he lied on top of her, and just as they were about to have sex, all of a sudden, she realized that this was not what she wanted and stepped back. But he continued to push himself inside her forcefully, to which she resisted and pushed him away, but still lost her virginity. She felt that this was a consequence of her own actions, and was the same reason she neither blamed him for this nor reported him, and this is the main reason she had never looked back to the memories she once preserved in such detail. The pain and mental struggle she endured after this incident were all her own, as she could not share them with anyone. On turning 18 years old, she decided that it was finally the time to leave Hollywood and live life on her own, explore the world, and achieve something so big so that one day, she may have a story to tell, and that should be a great story. So she decided to join a college in New York and tried out theater acting. Leaving her home and hometown feels nostalgic, but she knew that she was going for a life that she would make on her own, and was very excited about it. On reaching New York, she felt awesome. She hadn't lived like this previously, all independently. She compared this feeling to the one when as a child, one goes to summer camp and, at first, is frightened of what would happen, but ends up enjoying a lot and having made a lot of new friends and learning a lot from experience. She lived on rent in a flat that she shared with a boy, and he even became her best friend. The living conditions were just sufficient for them, and she really enjoyed her time there. After a few weeks, she finally got a chance to be on stage and show her acting skills, which she had been wanting from a very young age. Eventually, she would be known for who she really is beside the preconceived image of her previous show character, or the body shaming which she went through during her teens. Her life was going well, and she was happy with her current progress. And aside from her professional career, her personal life had also been great after moving to New York. She had met one of her ex-boyfriends and had a lovely time with him. Also, she made friends with some skateboarders there, one of which is Justin, whom she engaged with romantically. These skateboarders became her family. She had an incredible time with them, the party in her flat all night long, making every moment as adventurous as it could ever be. Two of those skateboarders committed suicide, one of which is Justin. Soleil used to get this feeling of déjà vu, having again missed the signs of calling for help in her friends. They had been spending time with her the most and being in front of her eyes. Still, she could not tell how unloved they felt to think of committing suicide. Having lost someone forever, she used to feel so helpless, as she did not want to go through this feeling again, as this is the biggest regret in her life. There was still nothing that she could do to make this right. Having opened this Pandora's box, she feels nostalgic for having every memory of all the drama, action, romance, and sad moments refreshed. She feels it is necessary to show your friends and family that you love them, as you don't know which moments would be yours or theirs last. So she contacts every one of her friends she met in the 90s. She even contacts Danny and goes to meet him in person, where they have a very lovely time together. They talk about the time they spent together and how beautiful those memories still are. She interviews every one of her friends to share their side of the story involving her, as she has been a part of their lives the same way they have been a part of her life. They share their memories and laugh at them, having to relive some of the very embarrassing moments again, and she shows them their recordings of the camera she used to carry all the time with her. She finally has a true chronological blueprint of what it was like to grow up in the 90s. That's it from the movie Kid 90. If you enjoyed it, consider subscribing. Let me know what you thought of this true story, and make sure to check out this next one.